Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing? Y'all know who this is. This is your boy Rod Thomas Jr. And this is the real news behind the news. The Sunday School edition. Yeah, the day is Sunday, June 27th, 2021. And I would like to thank one of our subscribers last night. I woke up this morning, found out that we had been blessed. Um, Taraja, I think that's how it's pronounced, Tadra. I thank you. That's all I'm gonna do is just call and say, you know who you are. We really thank you. And as we go along in this thing, we got comments already. Let me see what we got on this comments. Hey, brother Lawrence, how you doing this afternoon? I'm here just for a few minutes. Actually, I only got about 30 minutes, and I got to try to get out here and figure out how to get over here to get these check on these puppies real quick because they over again. They're the whole different side of the city that I'm on. I gotta go over there and check them out, make sure they got food and water in their bowls. It's gonna rain today. Make sure that they're able to get out the rain. I wasn't able to make it yesterday, but I'm trying to get over there. That's good, brother Lawrence. Thank you for joining today. We're gonna try to wait a few more minutes. Hopefully, we can get a few more viewers. I told you all last night that I was going to be coming on around about this time. And actually, for the first time in a long time, I lived up to what I said as far as this channel. Hopefully, we get a few more people on because we're going to have a real brief discussion. But again, I'm going to have to be billing out of here in 30, about 30 minutes because I got to make sure I'm able to go check on my puppies. And then once I come back later on this evening, I'll be able to do a much more in-depth video. So until we get subscribers, how you doing, brother Lawrence? I really do thank you. You've been a long time supporter of this channel, my brother. And really, to me, that means more than anything, um, to know that we have people who have been here since day one and who are still here despite all my inconsistencies in bringing you all this channel. Um, like right now, I'm trying to find somewhere right now. I'm on my brother's cell phone doing this video, but I'm trying to find some way to. I know how to break into this phone, but I got to try to find some way to get it on the cell network, and I'll be able to do more videos. But right now, I'm limited to what I can do. But people such as yourself, brother Lawrence, have been with me through the good and the bad. Yeah, you've been with me when I had my home, when my home was still functional and livable. Um, I really do thank you, man, because that means a lot to me to know that people really do believe in and support what it is that I try to do here at the Real News Behind News, which is, if nothing else, bring knowledge to the table to try to get people to think a little bit different. Now, I really would like to wait till we get a few more subscribers to join in, a few more people to join in before I go hard in the paint. Because again, in bringing you the truth or bringing you different and alternative points of view, it goes against a lot of traditions that we, especially Black people, that we as people here in America or around the world, wherever you're watching this from, the truth that I bring you, the questions that I ask, is going to challenge everything that you've been taught from the time that you was a child up until now. My whole objective is to not to get you to think the way that I want you to think, but it's to at least get you to ask questions. Yes, I have been. I'm just cooking me some Sunday lunch. I'm cooking baked salmon fillets and some broccoli. And let's be nice, brother Lawrence, because I'm about to try to go hustle up on me a pack of ramen noodles. While it all goes down. For real, I'm glad you're here though. You're welcome, and I do know what it is like to struggle in life. A lot of people know, man, everybody around here is struggling. I'm not the only one. Most of my struggles comes because I try to wait a lot of times. I try to make things happen, and at the last minute, they don't happen like they need to happen for me, and then I wind up find myself in a calamitous situation that I myself sometimes have put myself in. Really, a lot of the stuff that I've been going through lately is because I love my puppies so much that I put them over me a lot of times. And like a lot of my family and friends say, man, if you didn't have them puppies, if you just did some of them puppies, you'd be in a lot better position. And they are right to an extent. But right now, my puppies are in a better living situation than I am. But I'm still able to go see them. Um, I still have them. When just a couple of days ago, man, like I told y'all in that one video, I'm walking up the street with three puppies, and it's in my heart, and literally, I'm crying because I'm thinking I'm gonna have to get these puppies to the animal shelter. And again, the animal shelter, I'm asking them like, well, if I bring my puppies down there, can I eventually get them back? And they was like, nigga, if you bring your dogs here, why should we give them back to you? Because evidently you can't take care of them. That's why you brought them down here. So I had to suck it up, but I walked and walked in that hot sun. And eventually a couple of my partners say, man, bring your dogs over here. Do what you need to do. That goes back to the creator being faithful to us, even though we might not be faithful to him or ourselves a lot of times. That brings us back to the topic for today. I see we got at least a couple more people in, so I'm gonna just go ahead and run this video for about 15 minutes. I'll stop. I will check on the puppies, and then I'll be back to do a little bit more. But we want to have Sunday school, y'all. And in this Sunday school, we want to talk about some things that basically makes me look at organized religion. Now, keep in mind, I don't judge anybody for their beliefs. Religious, put it like that, I don't judge anybody for their beliefs in God. I myself do believe in God, a God, more than one God. I believe in the God. I never try to put anybody down or judge them for their beliefs, but organized religion itself, I do have a problem with. Let's just get right off into it. Just like with the Bible, we learn in the book of Genesis, the first book of Genesis, about the story of creation. In fact, first chapter of Genesis, it tells us about the creation. But something that we, and even myself, over all these years that I've been believing in it, has overlooked when it comes to it. Now, I can't pull, I don't have access to $5. Matter of fact, I got access to a Bible somewhere around here. You know, at my brother's house, and over here, I usually keep a lot of stuff. I don't have access to a Bible. But let's talk. We're gonna go, and reason why I'm learning to question all this stuff with religion is because even when I read the Bible, I see so many inconsistencies, and unbelievable statements that it's hard for me to take it serious a lot of times. First and foremost, let's go with this. The Creator gave Moses 10 commandments. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Honor thy mother, thy father. He gave you all these commandments. Do not covet your neighbor's wife. Do not take the Lord's name in vain. How come he never gave us a commandment saying, thou shalt not keep your fellow human being as slaves? Basically. How come he never gave a commandment in those 10 commandments saying, thou shalt not molest children? Stuff like that really gets in my mind. And I start thinking, because again, when you read the Bible, one reason why he say thou shalt not molest children is because as you go through the Old Testament, he was constantly killing innocent children. when he easily could have killed Pharaoh and allowed them people to go. He chose not to. He chose instead to harden Pharaoh's heart so Pharaoh wouldn't leave, let the children of Israel go, so that he could literally kill in the end all those innocent children, the firstborn. Why would you kill all the innocent kids when you could have killed Pharaoh from Jump Street? That would in itself would have been enough, big enough miracle to allow the remaining people in Egyptian politics or in rulership to let them people go. But no, you chose not to kill Pharaoh. You chose to make Pharaoh say, "Now screw that. I ain't letting these niggas go nowhere." You purposely say you hardened his heart just so in the end you could kill innocent children. The same God that did not even, again, put "thou shalt not have slaves" in one of the 10 Commandments, literally tells the rest of the world, if you are not a Hebrew, that you are nothing. You are no more worthy than to be a slave. So you wonder why I have problems with organized religion. And then when you go back and look at the whole story of creation, how is it that on the first day he separated the water from the heavens and all this, he created light and made it separate itself from the darkness. So you get light and darkness in the first 3 days of creation. But the sun and the moon were not created to the fourth day. How could you have light without the sun? Ain't nobody ever thought about that happening. Nobody ever thought about that. In the first 4 days of creation, you created the light and the darkness. It took you 4 days to create the earth. 3 days and basically create the earth, the land, separate the land from the water. But you never created the sun and moon, so how you gonna have light and darkness? It froze up somehow. In a second, it seems like we froze up and we're freezing up. Well, ain't nobody watching right now, but anyway, I'm gonna keep going because we know somebody gonna watch this eventually. And matter of fact, I'm gonna have to stop anyway in a few minutes and continue this. But these are some of the questions we gotta ask. How the heck you gonna make light and darkness in the first 3 days, but then create the sun that lights the earth to the fourth day? How is it that it took you only 7 days? It took you 4 days to create the earth and then the sun and then the human beings and all that on the earth. But in 1 day, you created all the solar systems, the galaxies, all the various universes. Do you all realize how many universes, solar systems, and galaxies there are out there in space? It took him 4 days, the God of the Bible, 4 days to create the earth and pretty much all the stuff that's on it. But only 1 day to create the solar system, the sun. The sun, do you realize how much time it would have took to create the sun and the moon, just the sun and the moon? It would have took him billions of years to create just the things that we see in heaven, the stars, the moon, the sun, all the various galaxies, various solar systems. But the Bible tells us he did all that shit in 1 day when he created the sun and moon. But it took him 4 days to create the earth. When you could sit the earth inside the sun, damn near thousands of times. So these are the questions that I ask. And keep in mind, at one time I was going to school to be a minister. I was so dedicated to the gospel that it was pretty much brainwashing the way that I was. Man, I was brainwashed. But then when I started asking questions, wait a minute, Noah's Ark say he bought all them animals from around the world. He bought every animal 2 by 2 to the ark. And I'm like, how the hell did the polar bear and the penguin get all the way from the North Pole? How did they walk from the North Pole to the Middle East? And how did they survive that journey because they're used to sub-zero temperatures, and now they walking all the way to the desert to get on a boat because it was raining so much that the rain and the flood covered all the way to the top of everything, even Mount Everest. And I'm asking the question, okay, so they was on that boat 40 days and float just to feed the lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Which would have literally eaten everything else on that boat. Do you realize how many thousands of pounds of meat they would have had to have just to feed the two lions for 40 days? Do you realize how much meat they would have had to feed the tigers and the bears? Do you realize how much meat they would have had to have just to feed those three groups of animals? To keep these groups of animals from eating the other animals, not to mention all those animals, 40 days and 40 nights. What did you do with all that animal shit? How did you keep that ship sanitized? Also, okay, say some miracle did happen and you were able to keep the lions, tigers, and bears from eating each other. You were able to keep the penguins who can't fly and who are used to subarctic temperatures. You were able to make the penguins walk all the way from the North Pole to the motherfucking desert and get on this boat for 40 days. That's the biggest question. Right? How did the polar bears, penguins, and seals and all those animals make it from the North Pole or Antarctica to the Middle East in the middle of the desert when they are cold weather creatures and will die pretty much if the temperature raises more than 40 degrees for a couple of days because they're used to having temperatures below zero. But then we supposed to believe they walked all the way from the North Pole. The penguins and the polar bears holding hands, walking from the North Pole to the desert. Kind of hard for me to believe. But this ain't some miracle did happen. All that happened just like it said. Well, then 40 days, 40 nights of all this rain, so much water that it covers everything on dry land, even to the top of the mountain, which is Mount Everest, the highest place on the planet of Earth. This ship is floating over Mount Everest. How did the people on that boat, on that ark, how did they survive the lack of oxygen for 40 days? How did they survive those cold temperatures at the elevation that they were at? Because you got to realize there's no air at the top of Mount Everest. Do y'all realize how many people die a year trying to climb to Mount Everest because of the lack of oxygen, the cold temperatures, freezing cold temperatures, the snowstorms and blizzards that take place every day on Mount Everest? The ark was supposed to have been able to float on all this water, this whole flood, which covered Mount Everest. How did Noah and all these people breathe? How did they survive the subarctic temperatures in that water, which would have been freezing the ship up constantly? Because if you've been in the military, the Navy, or you ever travel as a merchant seaman, which both I have done, you know one thing, when you in those type of temperatures, those ships are constantly gathering ice, and you got to constantly have somebody out there breaking the ice off the ship. So how the hell did Noah survive with two of every animal and insect and bird on the earth in that ship in those hostile, the most hostile of hostile conditions? He's in a wooden ship that he himself built. We're never told that he's a master shipbuilder. All we told that God told him to build a ship this long and this wide, which, according to those dimensions, would have been pretty much almost impossible to fit all those animals on. But once you did get the polar bears to walk all the way from the North Pole to the motherfucking desert, you got them on that ship. You're on this ship that's higher than Mount Everest. No air to breathe. It's cold in the motherfucker. You last for 40 days, 40 nights. Okay, we're going to say that a miracle happened and all that happened. What happens when the water recedes? And you got all this salt, soot, and other deposits covering the earth. And you ever seen, if you ever been in a flood situation or a floodplain, you see where the water left, how you can tell how high the water was just by looking at the trees, because the water line from the flood is going to be on the trees. Okay, well, you got water lines up to the top of Mount Everest. How is the land going to produce food? Do you realize with all the salt from the oceans, all the soot, and it's coming from, you know what I'm saying, the lakes, creeks, and ponds, the dirt that was displaced, the soil that eroded and mixed with it. Once that water settled, do you realize it would have took almost 50 to 100 years before that land would have been able to produce food, vegetation? It's just things that just don't add up, y'all. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more. But I'm looking as I talk, this time is going by real fast. It seems like I've been talking for 21 minutes now, but I got to go and try to check on these puppies. Believe it or not, something as simple as bus fare makes a big difference, because I got enough to get up there and go see them. I got to figure out how I'm going to get back, but that's not even an issue. The fact is, I got to go see them. But I didn't get a chance to see them yesterday. So I need to make sure that they are hunkered down, that they are emotionally all right. Because I think by the end of this week, y'all, no later than the middle part of next week, I'm going to be in a blessed situation, and y'all going to see me talking about party. Ooh, it's going to be on because I finally received the information that I needed to receive from my bank and the SBA. That's going to happen sometime this week, within the next 10 days. I will have myself back up on my feet. I'm just believing that that's going to happen. But until then, y'all pray for me. Y'all keep supporting this channel and the things that the Creator has blessed me to do, the desires in my heart, as far as bringing you all alternative information than all the social engineered propaganda that we're being fed, whether it be political or religious. Because even though a lot of y'all don't trust politicians, how could you trust your preachers that's telling you God loves you, but at one time, I mean, even still now, God tells everybody that if you're not one of His chosen people, you're no better than a piece of dirt who is meant, or who is able to be sacrificed for slavery. Again, you created all these you create these 10 commandments. Thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain. Why not? I mean, why can't we question God? Why we're not supposed to do none of this stuff? Do y'all realize if you were to go to heaven, then you would pretty much be like you were in Nazi Germany, because all day, every day, for eternity, you couldn't sleep, you couldn't eat. The only thing that you are going to be allowed to do in the biblical heaven is worship this dictator. All eating, you can't even go look for your mother, your father, your sister and brother who's supposed to be up there. You cannot rejoice with your friends and loved ones that you have made it to the other side, because all day long you're gonna be forced to bow down and worship the Creator who allowed His people to create slavery. But you're gonna have to be forced to worship this God who's nothing more than a dictator, if that's the case. He's a narcissistic dictator, because all he wants you to do is live right here on earth so that you can get to heaven and sit down and kneel down 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, no lunch breaks or nothing, every day, all day. All you're going to be doing is bowing down, saying, "We praise you, oh great God." Y'all say that God don't want us to be robots. He give us free will. Why you won't have free will in heaven then? Because in heaven, the Bible tells us in heaven, heaven is not what people think. Exactly, brother. I don't even believe in the heaven. Hey, now, Miss Holly. Holly, you've been a blessing to us. I'm gonna have to end this video because I need to walk up here and try to get some. First of all, I need to try to get some buffer. I gotta go see these puppies because again, Miss Holly, in the situation and with the help that you gave, we had to move out that hotel. And you know you helped us do that. And Holly, I was thinking I was gonna have to give my dogs up, but the dogs are in a better situation than I am. The dogs are they got food, they're in a whole backyard. I'm sleeping in a shed. I need to try to buy a fan. So really I need that's one need we have at the Real New Behind New there. If y'all can't hit the cash out, we need to buy just a regular box fan. If I'm actually sleeping outside in the shed, which I don't have no problem telling y'all that. Truth is what it is. But we're talking about religion, and how organized religion is just that organized religion. Heaven, Joshua say heaven is not what people think it is. I don't even think there's a such thing as heaven. I think heaven is nothing more than a constructed tool or is a constructed tool used by those who control the organized religious hierarchy to keep you enslaved by telling you, God told me to tell you to do this. And if you do not do what God told me to tell you, you're going to hell. But if you do everything that God told me to tell you to do, you'll go to heaven. When in either case, guess what? You got to be dead. You got to die before you even see that shit. Did not David say, "In the grave, there's no memory of you"? No. Heaven is the reward for obedient slaves. Hell is a reward or is a punishment for those people who chose to ask questions. Or when you look at organized religion, because all three of the religions have a version of heaven and hell. Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, they all have their version of a reward that you get for being an obedient slave to a God who gives all this pleasure upon the earth and tells you that if you partake of the pleasures that he created, you're going to hell. Don't that sound like a sadistic stepdaddy? That don't sound like a divine, loving father. That sounds like a stepdaddy. Because to him, we all stepchildren if you're not a part of his original clique, which is the Hebrew, the Jew. Man, I know I done said a lot without saying that much, but I'm gonna have to end this video real quick because I got to try to get up here and check on these puppies. Um, that's crazy, man. I've been spending all morning trying to figure out how I'm gonna get up there, see them, and get back. Dogs. One of our city council members here in Shreveport, Louisiana, asked me a while back. She said, "You love your dog more than you do humans," and she was 80% right. No, I love humans more than I love animals. But my dog, I love more than 80% of the humans that I know. Because human beings have lost the concept of loyalty. We have lost the concept of honor, of dignity. But I know one thing. Even though me and my puppies and I are struggling, long as I show my love and dedication, man, I don't have to. I wouldn't really come on, think about it. It would be easy for me to just go back in that hot ass shit, sit back there all day, and just feel sorry for myself or make my plan for my next day to get my make plans on how to get my life in order, whatever I need to do. It'll be easy for me to do that than figure out how I'm gonna get all the way across town just to see my puppies. for about an hour. Then how I'm gonna get all the way back over here. But you know what? By me doing that, those puppies would kill or die for me. They would kill something that's trying to harm me, or they would die in the process of trying to protect me. That's why they call them dogs are men's best friend. Man, do you realize the loyalty that dogs possess? Again, I could be the biggest piece of shit on the face of the planet, hated by everybody. But hey son, oh man, my son is on here. Hey, little big head boy, I'm gonna go up there and try to feed Hanson and Chai right now. You're gonna be mad, son, but Dad had to let Zozo go to one of my cousins. My cousin got Zozo. He came over and got her the other day. But Dad is in a situation where the three dogs were really taking a toll on Dad. What you doing, little bit? How come you won't? I'm gonna call you when I get back. I'm gonna leave right now and go check on on Chai and Hanson. And when I get back, Dad gonna call you. I'm gonna do another one of these videos, and you can check Dad out on that. Man, my little big head son. Dad love you, boy. You know what? You know what, son? What is it that you know? You know I had to give Zozo up? That was your puppy. That was Zozo. Man, guess what, son? She is so pretty. She is so pretty. Handsome and Chai. Handsome, he's sad now because him and Zozo, you know how tight him and Zozo were. Man, I got all off track talking to my little man. But hey, son, Dad got to go real quick. I got to go and check on the puppies. When I get back, I'm going to call you on Uncle Damien's phone. I'm going to call you on Uncle Damien's phone, and we're going to talk because after the last talk we had, I want to find out how you doing. I love you. I miss you so much, little boy. I do. I miss you so much, son. Okay, Daddy gonna talk to you shortly. Okay, love you, man. Love you, big head boy. Anyway, y'all forgive me, man. I'm emotional because that's my little man right there. That's my son. That's my heart. He's the one that I do all the things that I do for, so that he can have a positive image to look up to. Everything I do is for his benefit, man. Even to the point where I know I can't cuss on my videos as much as I used to, because I know at any given time my son is gonna drop in and say, "Hey, Dad, I miss you, love you too. I miss you so much, little boy. Hey, I think Dad finna get that money within the next week and a half. As soon as I get that money and we get that car, I'm coming to see you. I'll talk to your mom and see if she'll let you see if you want to come down here. By that time, when I get that money, I'll be able to get the house fixed or nothing else. Get a house until we get that house fixed. I'm coming to get you, and you can spend a month down here with Dad before you go back to school. I'll bring you. I'll come pick you up and bring you back. I love you so much, son. Bye bye. But to everybody else out there, man, y'all forgive me. My little man, when he came in, he took over the whole show. Love you so much. Miss you so much, son. Dad gotta go check on these puppies, son. And to the rest of y'all, I gotta go check on my puppies. Y'all pray for me. I will be back. A little bit later on, I'll be back. I'll bring y'all. We'll finish this portion of our Sunday school. We'll finish. We'll go to part 2 of our Sunday school. Just like last night. This time, I guarantee you, I'll be back. But until then, please, we need y'all to hit that like button, hit that share button. You know what I'm saying? This helps us get more and more views. It gets our views up. Now, this video here might be able to monetize because I get monetized because I didn't cuss. But a lot of videos that I do will not be able to get monetized because of the subject matter and the curse. That's where the Cash App and the PayPal comes in. Right now, before the next 5 minutes, we really need to have 10 of y'all hit the Cash App so we can and put up $2 just so we can get back and forth for the next week because I got a real serious doctor's appointment. That ain't y'all fault, but that would help. So anyway, hit the like button, hit the cash button, Cash App button, hit the PayPal. Most important, share these videos, tell your family and friends. Y'all be prepared because we're coming back as soon as I come back from checking on these puppies. And we're gonna keep it real and have more Sunday school. So until then, hey, y'all be blessed. Yeah. What the fuck going on in there? A dog? Oh,